The deadline was pushed back several times because of the pandemic, but now a firm date has been set for obtaining Real ID in Pennsylvania. State officials explain what Real ID is and why you need one, and how long it will take to complete the process.
Hopefully, you've heard by now that beginning May 3rd, 2023, every passenger will need a Real ID compliant driver's license or another acceptable form of identification to fly within the United States. Individuals who want to board an airplane will soon need a star on their driver's license indicating that it is a Real ID, or they will need another form of approved identification to board their flight or enter a secure federal facility or military base. With the Real ID Act of 2005, Congress enacted the 9/11 Commission's recommendation that the federal government should set minimum standards for state-issued driver's licenses and identification cards. From our perspective, TSA Real ID gives us another important tool in our security toolbox. It improves the reliability and accuracy of state-issued identification documents, and most importantly, prevents and deters terrorists' ability to evade detection by using fraudulent identification. So again, starting May 3rd, 2023, if you want to fly domestically, you will need a Real ID compliant driver's license or another form of ID, such as a passport, to enter a TSA security checkpoint. The good news is that you can upgrade to a Real ID if you currently don't have one. Again, remember, your current ID, if not Real ID compliant, will not be valid in May of 2023. So let me paint a picture for you. Imagine you've spent many, many hours of your life planning the perfect family vacation. And that day finally comes and you show up at the airport and the kids are excited and you're going to the destination of a lifetime. And you've done everything right. You've taken the change out of your pockets. You've emptied your water bottles. You're ready to breeze right through TSA security. And you find out, oh, I'm really sorry, you don't have a Real ID.
So if you are interested in getting your Real ID, as a first step, we encourage all of our customers to visit our website at www.penndot.pa.gov/realid. And there you will find a lot of helpful information about the documents you will need. So in order to get a Real ID, PennDOT needs to verify the following documents. We need to see proof of identity. That could be an original or certified copy of a birth certificate with a raised or embossed seal, or a valid, unexpired U.S. passport. We will also need to see your Social Security card, and it needs to reflect your current legal name. We need to see 2 proofs of your current physical Pennsylvania address, and there's a lot of acceptable examples of this. Even your current unexpired driver's license and your vehicle registration would certainly work. And then it gets a little bit more complicated. So for anybody who's legally changed their name, either by marriage or for other purposes, we need to see proof of those changes, like a certified marriage certificate or a court order. If you need to replace any documents, we also have information on our website about where to go to do that. But replacing these documents can take time, which is why we're encouraging all of our customers to start this process now. We're making it as convenient as possible to get a Real ID, and we have 3 options for you. You can order your Real ID online if you have been pre-verified, and your Real ID product will be mailed to you within 15 business days. You can visit any of our PennDOT Driver's License Center, and you have your documents verified and imaged, and then your Real ID will be mailed to them within 15 business days of that. Or you can visit one of our 13 Real ID centers and have the documents verified and imaged and receive the Real ID product over the counter at the same time of the service. So the Real ID centers are built to meet and exceed the expectations and the requirements of the Department of Homeland Security guidelines, regulations, and security standards for over-the-counter Real ID issuance. However, all PennDOT driver license centers can image and process your documents to help our PA residents obtain the Real ID product. When you get your Real ID, you will have to pay a one-time fee of $30 plus a renewal fee. So the current renewal fee for your driver's license or your identification is $32.50. Now, the expiration date of your Real ID product will include any time remaining on your current license or ID card, plus an additional 4 years, unless you're over 65 and have a 2-year license. So this expiration date structure means that you won't lose time that you've already paid for. And after your Real ID product expires, the customer will pay no additional fee beyond the regular renewal fees to renew a Real ID product. Again, as you've heard numerous times, that deadline is May 3rd, 2023, so it's a great time for customers to be gathering that information.
Today's news feature is brought to you by The Cheese Store and more. Go to their Facebook page to see their specials and check out their catering menu.